Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we've got
Ian
and Dolly in the back. And Ian used to work on railway lines and he's been telling me loads of stories, very fascinating. So I thought he'd have to share them with you lot. So Ian, how did you get into the railway lines?
My dad was on there, and my dad got me on there to work on the track side. And there was one particular one I can tell you about. We was working at Chiswick Park, and a lady wrote into our one of our governors at St James Park and said, I travel on this line.
Estimated time in traffic, 12 minutes.
I travel on this line.
Yeah, go on.
I travel on this line every day, and every time I come by this station, your men in orange are always standing against the cables, not working. And I think it's terrible that the money that I pay and they're never working. Little did she know
He's taking your break.
that we was working on the track, and when a train comes along, you try and get out the way of it. Because otherwise you'll be running out of men. But she couldn't see that.
Hey, so wait a minute. What did the governor say? Did he say
It
anything
was
to
the
you?
governor that replied back to her.
And what did she say?
Well, he just said, he said, she didn't realise, is that why you were leaning against the track, leaning against the cables? Well, he said, yeah, because otherwise we'd be running out of men. And it wouldn't do the driver a lot of good neither. Yeah.
So, was there any points for working on the railway line when you thought, oh, that was a close one? You know?
Well, I'll tell you one little story. A few years ago, it is a few before I actually retired, I was working at Acton Town, and I was walking along by the track, a little bit too near. We should have had a chap looking out, because you have a chap looking out for you, and if a train comes along, he blows a whistle to let you know, get out the way. And
so he's got to be on point then, really.
so he's got to be a lookout man, they call him. And I don't know what made me look round, but as I looked round, a Piccadilly line train was within 2 foot of me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so wait a minute. Were you in? If that's the rails?
The rails here,
Yeah.
and I was there.
Okay, so the G-force.
And as the train come along, the driver must have been doing something to his bag down below, because he obviously didn't see me. And as I looked round, the train hit me on the side, on my left-hand side, and threw me to the right, which was lucky enough because the track was on the left. So I always say, if I'd have been another 6 inches to me left, unfortunately Dolly would have had 2 of me, and that would have drove her mad.
So,
And that would have drove her potty.
so you must have got injured. You get hit by a train.
No, as it worked out, believe it or not, all I had was, it took just some skin off my arm where it had pushed me on the gravel, on the stones, and it was only really when I got home that I felt it, thinking like Dolly was at work and my son, and someone's got to tell them what had happened. Not even just after it had happened, we went back to our cabin, and one of our governors in the office at Earls Court rang up our foreman and said, have you had anybody hurt where you're working, or even killed?
What?
So they said, well, no. He said, well, the train driver has stopped at Hammersmith, because the Piccadilly line used to go right through 4 stations. A train driver has stopped at Hammersmith, and he's not certain, but he thinks he could have hit somebody or killed him on the track on his way through. And they were searching the track, and I was sitting in the cabin. So no one was none the wiser.
Jacket on, so they couldn't
No one
see
was
the
none the
bruises.
wiser.
So why didn't you go on? Because there's a number of factors there.
I mean,
the guy with the whistle is not doing his job.
He's at fault.
Yeah.
The train driver should have been looking, and perhaps I shouldn't have been there. So there was three faults really.
But in your sense, you're working, so you're relying on the train driver to do his job. He should have had his bag up high.
Yeah, but this particular time we were working on one line, and I had just wandered over to the other, which you can do. You just sometimes forget where you are. And I always say to this day that it's my mum or dad, God rest their souls, must have pushed me out the way. Because someone did.
So after that, did you
always
have to
nervous.
Yeah, you was always nervous after that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's a bit of...
Because whenever I worked on the track again, though you had a chap looking out for you, as you was working, you was always looking. You know, in case he's missed something. Because we had one flagman, lovely bloke, Derek, from Jamaica, lovely man. We were working there one day, and the train come by, and he pulled up near us, and he said, "All right, lads." We said, "Yeah." What's the matter? He said, "You're a flagman." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I think he's asleep."
Is that Derek?
This Derek could sleep anywhere. He could sleep standing
up.
Like
me. My parents are Jamaican as well.
He could sleep standing up. Yeah. He could. And I said, "Well, we'll have a walk down in a minute and check on him." He said, "Because I blew the whistle, I blew the horn of the train, and he's meant to acknowledge, just to let him know he's heard it." He said, "But there was nothing, no movement at all." So I'm just a bit concerned that he's either, if he hasn't passed away, he's asleep. Yeah, he's a great he's a character, right? Yeah.
So you did 30 years on the train.
Yep. And then window cleaning.
And window cleaning.
Yeah.
How did the train life change from when you started to? That's a generation and a half.
Well, it got a bit easier because a lot of this. It got easier to us because a lot of health and safety come into it. You know, with things that you used to do years ago, you couldn't do then. I mean, like we used to have a tea break or a lunch break. Well, if you was working down the track and it was raining, they would bring your sandwiches down on one of the trains, and you had it down on the track, so you just got soaking wet.
And then also,
nowadays they wouldn't get away with that.
You've got rats carried that disease, isn't it?
Real disease, where they wee.
Yeah.
It's only if it's the knee. If they wee, say like they weed on a cable, and you didn't know, and you put your hand on it, and then you ate a sandwich. That's how you can pick it up. More so in tunnels. In tunnels. But when they say, because everybody says, when they see a rat, they never see a small rat.
Yeah, they're big like that.
Yeah, they're always big as elephants.
Yeah, well, how come they're so
well,
big?
they all say that, don't they?
Yeah.
But I've seen some rats where we was working once at Wapping, and Wapping and Surrey Docks, which is now Surrey Quays.
Yeah.
No, it's called Surrey Docks now, I believe.
Yeah.
There was a water place there because it's all under the tunnel. It was under the Thames. And this chap used to man it, two of them manned it 24 hours a day. And he used to feed the wild cats. Never let them in his place, just feed them. And he said one night when he was in there, he heard this scream. And he said, I was so scared. He said, I turned the lights back on because he was obviously asleep. And but I wouldn't open the door.
Yeah.
And he said when it got light in the morning and he opened the door, he said there was a rat that size where the wild cats had got it, killed it and carried it and brought it to his door, because that's what cats do, don't they? If they catch something,
they say, look what I done for you.
it's like it's like if you've got an house cat, if he catches a pigeon, he'll bring it through the cat flap to show you how clever he is. And that's what these wild, I mean, you couldn't go anywhere near the wild cats because they would go for it, bite you, or you never touch one.
Can cats get rabies? They can.
I suppose they can. Foxes can, so I suppose they
foxes
can.
Get rabies?
Yeah, foxes, because they reckon, didn't they? Didn't they say once that when they done the Eurotunnel, the only thing that kept rabies in France and out of England was the water. But once it was built, the tunnel was built, it means the foxes could walk through the tunnel.
They were walking through the tunnel.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't think of France having
Yeah.
foxes, but yeah, I suppose they would. I just think of...
and that's how rabies could come, but obviously now it's, but I reckon that was one carrier, the fox.
That's a long walk for a fox, though, isn't it? It's in darkness.
Yeah, unless it can get a lift on the train. Might be knows the driver, isn't it?
Unless you can strap yourself to the undercarriage.
Yeah,
Like that prisoner, isn't it? Yeah, that terrorist prisoner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he done well there, didn't he? Yeah. He's still
But do you reckon that's an inside job?
Well, someone's helped him, obviously.
Yeah.
They have helped him, but I'm not saying they've. Obviously, someone must have been waiting for him on the outside, because.
They're checking Richmond Park Common now, isn't it? Richmond
Yeah, I
Park.
see that this morning. They was all.
It's a big place to check.
Oh yeah.
It's like
But he's an
6 miles.
But they're checking that because apparently, because he's an ex-soldier,
Yeah, it
he
feel
might have the
comfortable, innit?
soldiers.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the wherewithal.
Yeah, well, it never leaves you. I used to be in the military.
Yeah,
Yeah, it never leaves you.
yeah.
You move a bit slower, a lot slower if you're older,
Well,
like
yeah.
my age now.
Yeah, well, same as me.
But things would come back like riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd even be able to do that now, actually.
You got no
I always say my note of fame is now. Years ago, when I could run 100 yards in 10.1 seconds.
Okay.
I can do it in 1.5 hours now.
So, how long you two been together? You seem like you've been together for years.
We started going together officially in 1995,
Okay, that's when my son was born.
but we've known each other for our sons are 48 and 49, and my son comes to Kenny's birthday party when he was 2, and now he's 49.
Yeah.
So there's 47 years.
So you look much younger than you. You're not that.
But we and then we started going together in 95.
Okay. What would you say makes a marriage work?
Laughter.
Yeah, got to be happy.
You've got to be able to.
Everybody.
We got banter.
Yeah, everybody got
You know.
their. Everybody has their little moments where but no, we get on well. That's what I mean. Some people say to us, when you go on holiday, why do you go together? Why don't you go with a group?
Why don't you go with friends?
I say, well, I want to go. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have. I said, but why do you got to go with a group? So what you're trying to say is, then, would you go away with your wife for a week's holiday? No. Well, I wouldn't go away on my own with her. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh no, I couldn't go away on my own.
Oh, we love going away.
You know,
But you know, yeah,
you meet people anyway.
Yeah.
You have a laugh and
yeah.
you know.
That's interesting because obviously lockdown proved to a lot of people that they're just with the wrong person.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
2 years? It wasn't.
Yeah.
People didn't even know it's going to be 2
Yeah,
years.
I'd seen a rob a bank.
He said to me one night, why have you locked the door? I said, take a guess.
Yeah.
Driving me up the wall.
You'd have been better off robbing a bank for 6 years, and you've only got to do 3, and you come out and you've got £100,000 hidden away. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've always got on.
No, it did sort a lot of them out, didn't it?
Yeah.
COVID, yeah.
So you said the train industry has got a lot better health and safety wise.
Well, it's meant to have got better. I mean, I'm only take it. I mean, I don't know. obviously nothing to do with it now. And the people I used to work with,
They're really okay.
they've already either a couple of them would have been older than me now, because they
Some of them have died.
yeah, some have passed away.
Yeah, my brother works on the railways now.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, I was just on the underground,
He's quite happy with it. So the undergrounds, I hear this goes for miles and miles. There's lots of unused track tunnels as well.
Oh yeah, this. I mean, there is still.
You never get lost down there. Never gets a bit spooky.
No, well, I mean, the thing is, I always remember when I first started in, say, 1975. We was working at Green Park, and they were doing a new track there, and it was called the Fleet Line. But because it finished 2 years late, it didn't finish till 1977. They renamed it the Jubilee Line. which it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the Queen's.
Which it coincided with the Queen's Jubilee.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with one of the chaps down there, a carpenter, and he said to me one morning, he said, Ian, can you go back, our cabin was upstairs, obviously, because we were down in a shaft. He said, can you go back to the cabin and get my spirit level? So I started walking back to the cabin. All of a sudden I could hear this train. Well, I've never run so fast.
Oh yeah, because the tunnels aren't built with walkways, are they?
And, because you've only got the little light, the dim lights.
Yeah.
And our cabin was, obviously, once you got to it, we had to go up on this.
How old were you then?
75, I was 25.
Okay.
At least he could run.
At least I could run then.
Yeah,
And anyway, I must have run for about 40 yards.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. I thought, you silly bugger, there's no rails down here. It was a train, the Piccadilly line,
Yeah.
but they used to run overhead.
Oh, so you heard the
So
train?
you could hear the train, but it was overhead. But it sounded like when you're down on the tunnel, and you've only been on the job for about 2 months, you know, it's against the worry. You know, what do I do? What can I? If it comes, I can't say
Yes,
stop, can I? You
And you can't.
yeah.
Then, could you even lie down in the centre
Well,
and let the train go over you?
Well, they say you can, but I don't know if you'll get away with that. You might do if you go about 4 stone and you're very and you're very thin. You might get away with
You
it.
ever seen a film called Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
When he goes, you
Yeah.
will ask God to remove your shirt button so you can get closer to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but yeah, and I always thought that. So I thought to myself, if anybody had been watching, they'd have gone, he's got mad, that bloke. He's flipped his lid. Something's after him. You know, a rat. He's seen a rat or something and he's chasing him.
Have you ever, when I was a dustman, we were down, where we was working.
My son was a dustman for 18 years.
We was working down, what's it? Somewhere down East London. And we was pushing those big like communal bins for the flats.
Paladins.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
all the rats coming out. And one jumped, went up this guy's arm, up there, and he said he just screamed like a woman.
Yeah.
He said he didn't care. He said, I'm not ashamed to say I screamed.
I mean, where they say, there's an old saying, isn't there? If you corner a rat, the first thing they do is try and go for your throat. It's not, they're just trying to get past you. That's a fallacy, that, about they go. I mean, don't get me wrong, I suppose if you was lying down there half dead and the rats are hungry, they would chew you if you was down there for a little while. But I mean, it's a fallacy, that, about they go for you. You know, yeah, we see loads of them. Even when I used to go fishing, you'll be sitting there and the rat sometimes would come right up to near where you're fishing and start eating some of your bait.
Really?
Yeah, you might have some luncheon meat or sweet corn and stuff like that. Yeah, they're the water rats. They look horrible.
They're kind of oily, slimy.
Yeah,
kind of
they
thing.
do. Yeah, like a sewer rat.
They're big though, aren't
Yeah,
they?
like the sewer rats.
So wait a minute, the rats can live in the water, they can swim in the water, like underwater,
Oh, yeah.
like for a long time.
Yeah, well, I don't know about a long time.
Because you must get water places where in the sewer, in the system where it's
Where it can
flooded.
flood.
Yeah, does the tunnels ever get
Yeah,
flooded?
well, oh yeah.
So those tube tunnels get flooded.
Well,
at times?
they used to do a course only every couple of years, and they used to put you in different gangs, and they say, right, and we was based, while we was at Hammersmith, we were based at Victoria, and if London got flooded, we had to get to Victoria with and they're already there with these wooden barriers, and you put them in place so the tunnels or underground platforms don't get flooded.
Wooden barriers.
That's what's meant to happen in theory. So I said to this chap when he was showing us what we had to do, it's only a child run thing, so I said, how do we get to Victoria? So he said, well, you're at Hammersmith, you know how to get to Victoria. I said, yes, but I said, have you seen the map for London? Fulham will be 35 foot underwater because Fulham's in a dip.
Oh, is it?
In a valley. You know, like
Oh yeah, because London's in a thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where
that's
eastern the river goes through the middle.
like if you go to Wimbledon Common
It's up
and
high.
look down,
Yeah, it's looking
and
down.
then you come down into Fulham,
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah, the same when you go up towards Brent.
Yeah,
Shepherd's
that's
Bush
it.
up there.
Oh, right, yeah. And yeah, he said, "Oh, I didn't think of that," and that was one of their ideas. That was.
So all that happens, everything along the Thames
Can you
just gets
imagine
flooded. doesn't it?
imagine a bit of wood
Yeah,
stopping the
that's
water?
it. Unless they think, you know what they're thinking of? You know, like the canal barges, where they put those wooden doors.
Oh, that's when they got the
Oh,
yeah,
and the
the
locks.
the
Yeah,
lock.
the locks,
yeah,
yeah.
the
locks.
locks.
They're probably
that's
thinking
that's a
something
little
like that.
bit different. That
Yeah.
the locks.
Yeah.
But you imagine, like, you know, you're trying to stop water. I mean, it's bad enough if your tap goes in at home. let alone the river, let alone the Thames flooding.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. So you moved into window fitting,
window cleaning.
window cleaning. How was
Yeah.
that?
That was good, yeah. I had a good mate.
So you got a head for heights then?
Yeah, I don't mind heights, yeah. Dolly used to do on that because I do some jobs and it might be like as high as that up there and you'd walk along the ledge.
Oh, is it?
Not meant to, obviously.
Did you have, so you didn't have a harness or nothing?
No, but now,
No health and safety then.
no health and safety then.
So was this in,
But if you'd done it now, I mean 1987 I started window cleaning because I got made redundant off the transport for a little while because they went to another department. Then I started back on in 1990. But for the 2.5 years I was off, I done window cleaning. I automated mine,
Alright.
you know, and I still do a little bit now, only shops just to get me out for an hour,
Yeah.
you know.
I hear you. Well, it's always
But,
good to have something extra to do.
But the good thing with window cleaning is once you've got a ladder and you've got no outlay, you know, all you've got to buy is washing up liquid.
Yeah. And you
Okay.
just need to know about that sponge and
Well, you buy the things that you need, obviously, but it's, you know, once you've got everything, and the rubbers that you buy, just like windscreen wipers, you know, the rubbers
That's
like
some
that.
experiences on there, Ian.
Yeah, I've done a few stars, houses.
who's any what famous people?
Done Catherine Zeta-Jones.
How is it?
She used to live down our street,
She's lived opposite us.
lived opposite us.
The Welsh girl.
Yeah, she was nice then.
What-
Till she met Mark Douglas.
what, she
She used to go with a chap called when she moved down our road, she used to go out with John Leslie. I don't know if you remember him.
He
Nah.
got in big trouble.
He's the one who got trouble when
He got in big trouble.
a young boy died in his swimming pool.
No,
Oh.
Oh, that was Barrymore, wasn't it?
Barrymore, yeah.
John Leslie got
No,
in.
John Leslie.
He was mixed in with what was
it
her
was
name? Anyway,
sexual.
yeah,
whatever.
sexual things. Anyway, when he left her, and by the way, he still owes me a £5 if he's listening.
What's
Yeah.
his favour?
Yeah,
Bring it round.
I've done the windows for a £5 and he never did pay me.
Really?
Yeah,
And he's a star.
because Catherine weren't at home, but she wasn't famous then.
No,
She only
was
used to
doing
do-
Darling Buds and Maybe.
Yeah, she used to do a programme called Darling Buds
Yeah, I
and
remember
May.
that. Yeah.
And then after that, she made a couple of records that were absolutely useless.
Mm.
She done a couple of films. I think one was called Blue Juice. That was useless. But then she done a film with Sean Connery
Yeah, Entrapment.
called Entrapment,
Mm.
and that sort of made her.
Yeah.
But it just shows you when you are well known, because when she used to go shopping with this a good friend of ours, the neighbour next door, if she had a Versace dress, they used to give her, I think it was 10 or 20% off, because she was. But when she got well known, get them for nothing,
Yeah, of course.
because you're wearing them and advertising.
Yeah.
But Brian McFadden, she went with at one time. He was in the film Braveheart.
Okay.
He was a lovely.
Played Robert the Bruce.
He played Robert the Bruce.
Oh, him?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
right.
was a lovely fella.
Yeah.
Really nice. He said there used to be a wine bar on our corner of Kingwood Road there,
Yeah.
and they used to get in there for a drink and that.
Uh-huh.
And he was
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham got in there, and
Oh,
they used to, have a chat with him. And this Brian McFadden was a lovely man.
That's
And then because she left him and ended up going with
Kurt Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. And
Are they still together?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they had a couple of kids, I think. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Our neighbours were very good friends with them, and they were invited to the wedding and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, is
She
it?
showed you the invitation.
Yeah, unbelievable, this invitation card.
It's probably like
They didn't go though, but they kept it.
They didn't go though.
No.
They worked out that if they'd have gone, and it was for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it would have cost them 15 grand to go to the wedding.
Why?
People like that,
Well,
like
the
us,
women-
haven't
well,
got that sort of money.
You know what the women are like? They've got to have a different outfit on, haven't they? I mean, not like us, we'd have the same pair of trousers on, wouldn't we? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But the women have got to have a new outfit, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was different parties.
But it was all
each
different
night,
dues
so
they
you had
went to.
You have to dress up.
And you have to go in these places, and then it's just typical how the other half.
Yeah.
No different than the likes of us going out for a drink, but they make a big thing of it, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, and she's
You know.
definitely going to make a. She's married into a
Well,
good position, isn't it?
well, at the end of the day, she had money of her own in the end. I mean, you know, the films that she done, and
They are a dynasty.
Yeah, their dynasty.
Douglases.
So he's married into
Yeah.
that thing, remember?
Yeah.
That's right.
From black and white TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a
and
veteran.
she was a lovely looking when she first moved down there. I mean, and the Welsh accent she had, but now it's more.
What about the cold hands?
Yeah, 'cause, when I first met her, I knocked on her door and I said, "Oh, hello, I hope you don't mind me knocking." I said, "I'm the local window cleaner, and I said I do along here." I said, "I live across the road." I said, "Would you like your windows cleaned?" She said, "Oh yeah, that'd be lovely." I said, "I do them every 6 weeks." So I said, "Well, thank you very much, Graham." So I said, "She said, thank you very much." Anyway, we used to run a club, and Dolly's mum and dad used to run it first of all. Then we looked after it, and we were in there one day. I said, "Do you know that Catherine Zeta-Jones? Oh, she's nice looking. I get going." I said, "I've got cold hands." "How do you know?" I said, "I'm telling you." She's got, "Yeah, all right, Ian," because you always used to have a bit of a wind up, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, one night she was on Des O'Connor.
Yeah.
And as she's come down to, "Hello, Catherine," and as he shook her hand, he went, "Oh, Catherine, ain't you got cold hands?" And when we went back in the club, they said, "Here, Ian, do you see Des O'Connor? You was right, she has got cold hands."
Well, on that note, it's been a great interviewing you. Yeah. And we wish you well.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.